Nation, we are back. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here, rocking with me today, man. Make sure you guys wipe them feet. That means hit them thumbs up. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed yet. And also, salute to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Head over there and get 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next two deposits using promo code YouTube150. Fastest payouts in the industry, up to $2,000. You do not want to miss out on this offer, you guys. Head over there. Let them know Graphk Raider sent you. If you are a bettor, no one does it better than BetUS. Salute once again. This live stream is powered by BetUS. I see Green Dot Gang is heavy in the building, man. Salute to everybody here, man. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to go over that game last night. We're going to talk everything football related. Real quick, before we get into the show, I would just like to say thank you to everybody who joined the show the other day with Jalen Richard. Phenomenal show. You guys made that a phenomenal show. Salute to Jalen. He's getting his podcast and stuff together, you guys. Jalen will be starting a podcast very soon, and he will be a frequent guest on this show over here at OLV Raiders Network. So once again, thank you to everybody. If you didn't get an opportunity to watch it, go check it out. I dropped it, I believe, a day and a half ago. It is on the channel. It's the last live that we updated. Go support Spook and everything that he has going with his coaching aspirations and his new podcasting journey. So once again, salute to Spook and my guys. Salute to Kenny Mack with the first super of the day, man. Just getting my Cali peeps started off the right way. Salute to my guy, Kenny Mack, on the $5 special. Salute to Raider Mo, man. That show was amazing. We need more content like that, Graph. Salute. I got another one on the way, you guys, and you do not want to miss out on this. I located a goat, man, and I got a goat coming on the channel here. We set it up. You know, we're working on the time and the specific day, but we're locked in. So stay tuned. We have some more stuff. You know how we do in the off season, you guys. We have plenty of people. And also we have Dylan Laube on the show as well. Raider running back, rookie Raider running back. We're going to do a recap of the season. What went wrong? You know, what happened with him and his development in year one. We're going to talk about that all, I believe, next Tuesday. So stay tuned. Dylan will be back on the show once again. So salute to our guy, Dylan Laube. Salute to Alex Raider 35. Hope this is not like last year where Cliff Kingsbury was coming and it didn't happen. Yeah, right. I put this on Twitter, Alex, and I think you guys would agree with me, right? Nothing in the NFL is done until it's done. And even when it's done, it's more than likely not done, right? So until this situation is set in stone, you know, we're not going to get too excited, but I gotta be real here, you guys. We deserve to be happy right now. We deserve to be this excited as a fan base with our name even tied to Ben Johnson, the number one, you know, guy out there in this coaching cycle this offseason. Speaks volumes of what we are trying to do moving forward with Tom Brady in the building. And I have to say this, I put it on Twitter as well, that look at where our organization is right now compared to 2 or 3 weeks ago, not even that long ago. I mean, could you imagine that our backup plan is potentially Pete Carroll, a Super Bowl winning head coach, national championship winning head coach at USC, That speaks volumes of what Tom Brady is trying to put together here in Las Vegas, as the minority stake owner and a guy that's going to have a ton of, say in terms of what we're doing, putting the product together in terms of general manager, coaching staff, player development, whatever. It's just an exciting time to be a Raider fan. Do not let anyone, you guys, anyone make you feel like just because we've had, 20 plus years of just nasty work, don't allow that to take away how we're feeling right now. We deserve this feeling. And I really, truly believe in what Tom Brady is trying to do. And I trust the process. You know what I mean? And, with Chicago, I don't know if you guys seen this. It hit the news yesterday. Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys have, mutually parted ways. Mike McCarthy has been down here in Dallas as the head coach for some years now. And, Dallas did him so dirty. I thought that we did Antonio Pierce dirty. I mean, this was just nasty work. I mean, he missed out on interviews. Dallas, when Jerry Jones missed out potentially on bringing in Ben Johnson for an interview and other, coaching candidates because they held on to Mike McCarthy so long. But he has an interview lined up, I believe, Wednesday with the Chicago Bears. Michael, you deserve that, Michael. You deserve that, Michael. Go take that head coaching job in Chicago, Michael. That is a dream job for you, Michael. Go ahead and take that job, Michael. Hey, they can use another Michael in Chicago to help turn that thing around. You know what I'm saying? So, look, it looks like Mike McCarthy will be out there interviewing this Wednesday, and they seem to be pretty high on him. A veteran coach that has won a championship in Green Bay. He's been around for many moons. Chicago may decide to go the veteran route. And it makes all the sense in the world for Mike McCarthy to go over there, take that job, and help Caleb Williams and company right that ship, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So Mike McCarthy will be interviewing for the head coaching job, you guys, in Chicago Wednesday. There's still a slew of other candidates that they're probably going to bring in. They've already interviewed a ton of coaches as well. But this would be a great job for Mike McCarthy, and then it pretty much leaves us, us and I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars for Ben Johnson's services. And look, if everything goes the right way and it looks like and it sounds like, I don't know if you guys seen the Vinny B tweet last night. And Vinny doesn't really put a lot of stuff out into the universe if he doesn't feel, that it may happen. There's other guys, other beat writers and stuff like that just kind of throw anything out there. And it's no knock to any of these guys, because I respect most of those guys that write for the Raiders and stuff. But this is a guy that doesn't really put too much into the universe unless he truly trusts, what is going on. And he put out a tweet yesterday. He said, a lot of things are lining up and pointing to Ben Johnson to the Raiders. Nothing surprises me in this league, though. Some really good coaches have a chance to change things when they interview. But, and this is coming off of, this was actually before Mike McCarthy, I believe, took the interview with the Chicago Bears, but also the Deion Sanders news of the Dallas Cowboys reaching out to him to potentially bring him in with Dallas to take the head coaching job, which would be absolute insanity if Jerry Jones decided to go that route. I still believe that they're going to end up with Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. I truly believe that he'll be the guy moving forward. He has ties, to Dallas, former, quarterback there, and he was on the coaching staff also. I do believe that he will take the job eventually. And Deion is kind of still up in the air. He took the call with Jerry Jones out of respect for him and the organization that he used to play for. His family is from the area. Shador was born and raised out here in Dallas. So the job makes sense. But he did put out an interesting quote, pretty much stating that he loves what they're building in Colorado, the players, Boulder, just Colorado as a university. So I don't know if Deion ends up taking that job, but it would be it's such a Jerry Jones move, But I do believe that they'll probably end up with Kellen Moore. So with Deion, us not being interested in him, and salute to Vic and salute to Sean Reed, they put it out on The Athletic that we have no interest in bringing in Deion Sanders. It looks like it's Ben Johnson or bust. And then if he's not the guy, we're going to probably lean towards going to bring in Pete Carroll. The dark horse candidate, you guys, is Todd Monken. That offense out there in Baltimore is gelling. They are firing on all cylinders. So it would make sense to, bring in Todd Monken, which he will be in, I believe, sometime this week. There's no schedule yet that's dropped with him coming in for his well, not coming in, but his virtual interview. But we do have one lined up with Todd Monken. He would be kind of my dark horse candidate to be the head coach if everything falls through, with Ben Johnson, and if Pete Carroll decides to stay home or take another job elsewhere. Salute to Jordy Robinson. Raiders, y'all wipe them feet, man. Salute to my guy, Jordy. I appreciate you, brother, on a $2 special. Let me get these supers in real quick, you guys, before we continue the show. Once again, man, salute to everybody here in the building. As always, salute to my brother in real life, Demon King. Blessings, y'all. Hope y'all have a good week so far. OLV for life, Raider Nation for life. Go Irish. Jay, we got to get together for the title, bro, for the championship game. We have to get together for the championship game. Salute to my brother Jason Hunter, man. Always putting out those positive vibes. I'm feeling good today, you guys. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'll be 41 years old. Had me a great workout at the gym today. Been getting a lot of work done. Been locking in some more guests for the podcast, and we got some really, really dope things in the works over here, man. So spiritually, like physically, just mentally, everything is just feeling really, really good in 2025. And I hope every single one of you guys have a phenomenal 2025 as well. And whatever it is that you were struggling with in 2024, you leave that in the rearview mirror, man. Salute to Raider Ryan. Phenomenal show and questions with Jalen Graphk. Salute to my dog, Raider Ryan. Always supporting what we do. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you so much. Let me see. We got one more super real quick. We're going to continue to get back to the show. Salute to my guy, John B, in the building as well. Happy early birthday, bro. Hoping for better things for you and your family. Also for this organization going forward and the nation. Who's the GOAT? C. Wood, Brown, Andy? I love that. I'll make sure to make the announcement with C. Wood. Once again, salute to our good friend. That's my dog in real life, man. Charles Woodson's a phenomenal human being. He is a proud sponsor of our show over here at OLV Raiders Network. So, but I would make an announcement with that. This is a guy that hasn't been on the show yet. If it was Tim Brown, I'd be all giddy, and I'd probably tell him myself. So it's neither one of those. And Andy's always, welcome home. You already know, man. Andy's doing big things out there in Oakland, working and taking care of his family. So John B, not those three guys. Stay tuned. I will be dropping it once we get the time and day. We'll definitely be dropping it. Salute to my dog, Intel in the building. What's popping, homie? 41 youngster. Happy birthday. It's tomorrow, but I appreciate you for the early birthday holla, man. Salute to my guy, Intel, man, my dog, one of the GOATs over here at Shieldmore. Always comes through and with some phenomenal comments. Always blesses the Shieldmore family, man. Salute to my dog, man. Salute to D. Graphk. Khalil Mack is a free agent. Though long in the tooth, if he doesn't retire, would you bring him back home? Yes, I would. And I know a lot of people are tripping out by me saying that. I went on Twitter and I said the same thing, that I would love to bring him home, let him finish his career where it started with the Raiders. John Gruden's no longer in the building anymore, the guy that traded him away, because he didn't want to pay him. He went on to have a phenomenal career with the Chargers, with the Bears, so on and so forth. But I would, as a rotational guy, I would not pay Khalil Mack a shit ton of money, to be the number 2 guy opposite of Max. But I would pay him if he decided to come to Vegas, no state tax, and he decides on not retiring. I don't know if you guys seen this, but he's talking to his family about potential retirement. So he may be done with the NFL. But if he's not, I would bring him back as a rotational guy, rotational piece. Could you imagine a defensive line with, let's just say we brought back Malcolm Kuntz, or let's just say we didn't. So let's just say we left, we let our guy Malcolm Kuntz walk in free agency. And you guys know I love Malcolm Kuntz. Would love to bring him back. Would you imagine Max Crosby, Abdul Carter on the other side with Christian Wilkins in the middle, bring back Adam Butler, and you draft Abdul Carter? That would be with Khalil Mack as a rotational guy. He's still good, actually great against the run. He could still get to the quarterback. Last year, he had 17 sacks. This season, he had 6, which was a very, very down season for him. What I'm saying? But I would definitely bring Mack home, to retire and for us to fix, to right that wrong. You know what I mean? Because he should have never not been in the silver and black in the first place. That was a Gruden blunder right there. So, yes, D. Bernie, I would definitely bring our guy back as a rotational pass rusher that can come out and, he can help in the run, because he's always been great against the run, and a guy that can occasionally get to the quarterback as well. Definitely, man. Definitely give him a 1-year deal, and let him retire a Raider. Would love it. Salute to Rusty. Happy birthday. 40s, great. 50s, not so much. 60s, ugh. Salute to my guy, Rusty Colt, man, my dog. I appreciate you, brother, so much. Salute to my brother in real life as well. Happy birthday, Mr. Graphk, for 2025. Set goals, milestones, and smash them one by one. Make this year your bitch. Salute to my guy Hug. My birthday's tomorrow, and we are doing a birthday live stream tomorrow, you guys. We will have Shieldmore on, and we're going to be doing mock draft central over here. I want all the guys to pull up, do their full 7-round mock drafts individually, and then we'll do one as a whole as well. But we will be doing a lot of mock drafts and going over everything Raider related tomorrow night. So stay tuned. Birthday stream tomorrow. My dog Hug, man. Come on, man, Jay. You know you ain't got to do that, brother. You know you don't have to do that at all, man. Salute to my guy. Happy birthday to the GOAT. Many blessings to you, and I'm happy you made it to 75. That's wasted talent. Nah, but for real, thank you for being real with me always and a true friend. Love you, brother. I love you more, bro. Salute to my guy, Demon King. Bro, you got to pull up, man. Come to the house, man. Come to the house. Come to the house, bro. Pull back up. It's been too long. Salute to my guy on a $50 special. Can't get right. Happy birthday, King. Graphk, man. Can't CGR, man. One of the GOATs over here, too. My fathers. Salute to you, brother, for everything that you do for the channel as well. Salute to Wade. TB12 sponsoring car in 2025 Indy 500. Better get the Raiders right first. You know, man, Tom got a lot going on. You know, a lot going on. The commentary. And I don't know if you guys see this, but it's actually, you know, really kind of funny that Tom Brady gets another look at Ben Johnson this weekend, you guys. He will be calling the Detroit Lions and Washington Commanders game. So I know a lot of people in the national media and there's people out there in outrage and calling it tampering. But he's still doing commentary. And I do believe at some point he'll eventually leave commentary, even though that's a shit ton of money to leave on the table, and probably be more full-time with the Raiders in terms of ownership and putting this thing together right. But he will be calling the game this weekend as the Lions take on the Commanders at home. So Jaden Daniels and Goff, it's going to be funny, man, to see Brady out there. I know he has to be very, very choosy with his words because it's going to be difficult to not praise Ben Johnson in that offense because they're going to go out there and cook. I'm telling you now, I believe Washington is one of the worst defenses against the run in the NFL, even with Dan Quinn, you know, as the head coach. He's a defensive-minded guy, and they got Gibbs out there, and they're going to probably get David Montgomery back here shortly as well. So I expect a major game from Gibbs coming off of a big game this against the Minnesota Vikings where he had like 3 or 4 touchdowns. So expect a big game from Gibbs. But salute to Johnny Wade. I'll see you at the Combine, my brother. Salute to Caps. Graphk, since I'm a huge fan of the U, when's the DM show? The DM show. Maybe I'm getting old, man. Maybe this age is starting to set in. The DM show. Are you talking about the Daniel? Are you talking about the Martinez show? Caps, elaborate in the comment section, brother. Appreciate you on a $5 special and Hug gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. As always, my brother, man, I appreciate you. Salute to all the new Green Dot gang here in the building because of my brother, you know, Hug D's, man. As always, I appreciate you, brother, and love you to death, man. Salute to all the new Green Dot gang. If you missed out on those, you guys, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at Shieldmore. All aboard Raiders, my guy, man. As always, appreciate you, King, for pulling up. And if you guys, once again, are not subscribed to our guy, All Aboard, he has a channel on YouTube as well. And he puts on phenomenal content. And I believe he does occasional work with Bleacher Report as well. So go support one of our own. I'm still all in on Darnold for the right price. People are too reactionary off 2 bad games. Kevin O'Connell gets 0 blame. And I guess Sam plus Ben would be nice. Well, you know, one thing, All Aboard, is that Ben Johnson has got a great look at Sam Darnold, right? A great look. I think he knows him more than anything, more than anybody. Faced him twice this year, in division guy. Look, I'm not here to throw Sam Darnold under the bus. There was a lot that went into that game yesterday, you guys. For those who don't know, you know, Kevin O'Connell is, you know, he came from that McVay tree, okay? Former, I believe, offensive coordinator for the Rams under Sean McVay. So he knows that team very, very well. McVay game planned. And this is something also, All Aboard, that people don't realize is that Rams, that defensive line is one of the greatest defensive lines in the NFL, man. Even with Aaron Donald retiring, one of the GOATs, they go out and bring in some nice pieces and Jarrett Verse and the phenomenal talent, the defensive tackle out of Florida State. They have a great defensive line. And they just got to Sam Darnold all night long. That offensive line struggled. Sam Darnold did hold on to the ball a little bit too much in certain times, but they had no answer. They had no answer for that defensive line from the Los Angeles Rams. So, Am I giving up on Sam Darnold? I was never really in on the Sam Darnold sweepstakes, but I'll tell you this, he'll be a lot cheaper now all aboard. And I do believe that they're going to let him walk in free agency. They're not going to tag him and try and trade him now. They'll probably just let him go, and he'll be a lot cheaper to bring in now in free agency. So I'll say this. If we brought in Sam Darnold and we went and drafted a guy, which we need to do anyways, for, Ben Johnson to develop and have a guy that he has on a rookie deal that he can take some time with, I'm all for it. I'm not against that at all, man. Sam Darnold had a phenomenal year, you guys, and they had 14 wins out there in Minnesota, and he's one of the major reasons behind that. So Sam Darnold had a phenomenal year. Yes, these past two games, Detroit and the Rams, they definitely exposed that Minnesota Vikings offense, but he's been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal. So salute to you all aboard as well. Let me see. Supers are flying. I got you, Caps. I got you. We'll definitely talk about Daniel Martinez. I'm going to bring Stu on. Stu, that's his guy. That is his guy in this year's draft. So we're going to bring on Stu, and we'll talk about Martinez, the young running back who had over 1,000 yards rushing out there in Miami, and I think averaged over 6 yards a clip as well. So, yeah, man. And top, definitely, bro, the Rams can win it all. This is the thing, man. I don't think people realize how phenomenal Sean McVay is. People thought that he was just a guy that traded all the draft capital to bring in veterans and, sold it all to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, he did that. And then guess what? After that, he won one, and he still found a way to draft some guys, and develop Puka, who's one of the greatest young wide receivers in the game right now, even with Cooper Kupp struggling. You know what I'm saying? They find ways every year. Sean McVay, to me, is a top 3 at least head coach in the NFL. And that's Andy Reid territory with Sean McVay. That dude always has the Rams firing on all cylinders. They always find a way to win football games out there with Sean McVay at the helm. So I think McVay doesn't get enough credit that he deserves. And I know some people would say, what? Like McVay, I truly believe that he's still an underrated head coach in the NFL, even after winning a Super Bowl and taking this Rams team to the NFL, to the NFL playoffs with even all the injuries that they had and all the stuff that went around them this season. Salute to Allen. Happy early birthday. I'd like to make a trade. I will give you 62. And will you take 41? I'll take that default picture you got, Allen Raider, as always. Salute to you, my brother. But you know what? I'm gonna take my days one at a time, and I'm not rushing to get to 62. But Allen, it's a blessing for you to still be here at the age of 62. And thank you so much, brother, for the $10 special, man. My dog, my brother, man. Salute to Mad Hatter on a $5 special as well. Happy birthday, Docs. I noticed a little bit more gray in your beard since I've been following you all these years, but getting old is a privilege. Raider Nation for life. Yeah, man, been doing this for 5 years. The Raiders have stressed me the fuck out. My son's getting older, 11 years old, and now they're liking girls and playing sports, stressed me the fuck out. Bills, the dog, everything. So I'm getting a little bit more gray, but hey, man, silver and black, baby. Silver and black, man. Salute to my guy, Mad Hatter, as well. And you know what, Paper Chase? I'm all for that. That is going to be a name to definitely keep an eye on in this year's draft. He's starting to gain a lot more momentum, especially with a lot of these guys, Carson Beck going to Miami, and, Drew Allard going back to Penn State. Some of these guys going back to their respective schools. Will Howard is going to gain a lot more notoriety going into the draft process. The measurables, the arm, everything. The guy at Ohio State, I hope he shits the bed, in the national championship against my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But I would be all for if Ben Johnson is the guy, right? If he is the guy, if he went out and got Will Howard, I trust in Ben Johnson to develop him, or Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. So salute to my guy. I wouldn't be against that. Go get Darnold and draft one of those guys and develop them. I'm here for it. Salute to Soul Chef as well. If we get BJ, do you believe Jacoby can be in a role like St. Brown? Considering we get a legit deep threat, I think a couple of tweaks and our O can be lethal. I like that. So, and what's funny, man? Once again, that offense is phenomenal in Detroit. And I think that Ben Johnson would do great things with Jacoby coming off the first, career 1K receiving yards season. Phenomenal job by our number 2 in this offense. I definitely believe that he can turn him in and make him even better than what he was this past season. But I'm not going to put him in that St. Brown category. I'm not going to do that. But what I would say is this. So we still need a big body wide receiver on the outside. But remember, we still got Michael Mayer, and then we got Brock Bowers, that pairing. But I wouldn't be shocked if they went out and got another speedster, if Ben Johnson is the head coach, to add to this offense to pair with Trey Tucker. You know, two guys go vertical. You got Jacoby there. You got Brock. You got Michael Mayer. I think it'd be a phenomenal offense. But there's some guys that we're going to go over tomorrow on tomorrow night's birthday stream, where we're going to talk about, you know, there's a young kid out of Oregon that I like a lot. We're going to talk about some young speedsters that could potentially take the top off in Ben Johnson's offense if he is the guy moving forward. Salute to Soul Chef, my dog. Junior, if we do hire Ben Johnson, would the Raiders possibly trade for Monty? Maybe even J-Mo. Also, happy early birthday, Docs. Salute to my guy, man. Junior, I don't think that happens. If Detroit makes a run, let's just say they win the Super Bowl, they're going to run it back. They're not moving on from David Montgomery. They're definitely not going to move on from J-Mo. I know they had some, you know, things that happened with J-Mo early on. He's still young. You know, he's still, you know, maturing, you know, out there. He had a really good season for the Detroit Lions. I don't think they're going to move on from any of those guys. If we do pick up a Detroit Lion, it probably would be Hendon Hooker, you know, the young fella out of Tennessee who is the backup for Goff. You know what I mean? So I don't see them moving on from that 1-2 pairing of Gibbs and David Montgomery. That's what makes that offense tick. That's what makes it so special. And J-Mo, they're not going to move on from him. Young kid, you know, he has such a bright career ahead of him. But I appreciate you, Junior. Real talk. D. Bernie, yes. Look, dog, there's so many phenomenal running backs in this year's draft. This is the deepest class that I've seen at the running back position for a long, long time. I like Gene T a lot, you know what I mean? But I've talked about Hampton a lot out of North Carolina. He is a guy that I would bring in the second round. Scatterboo would be a guy that I would look at if you traded back in the second, pick up some additional draft capital. If he was available there in the late second, Scatterboo out of Arizona State. You could potentially look at Ollie Gordon in those mid rounds out of Oklahoma State. There's a ton of running backs in this year's draft that I am excited about. You know what I mean? So, but I would take Hampton. That is my next guy after Gene T. I think that he is the guy that can help turn this thing around at the running back position in Las Vegas. Him, Scatterboo, you know what I mean? There's a ton of other names as well. This is a phenomenal running back class. But Hampton would be my favorite running back, you know, 1A, 1B with him in Ashton GT. Salute to my guy, Bernie. Hoffing. We're going to talk a little bit more, you guys, about Ben Johnson. We're going to talk a little bit more about Pete Carroll. For those who don't know, he had an interview yesterday at, in Las Vegas. A ton of information did not come out on that meeting. And, you know, historically, the Raiders don't really drop a lot of hints, drop a lot of clues about what happened. It's no coincidence, though, you guys, that all the news came out after Ben Johnson interviewed via Skype or Zoom, whatever it was, so I'm assuming, the Pete Carroll interview went good, right? It's Pete Carroll. I mean, I know he's 73, 74 years old, but I mean, he's Pete Carroll, but I still have him as that 1B option, but he did interview for the Raiders yesterday. So, but there's no news that came out, no updates on the Pete Carroll interview with our Raiders. Hafi, I know it's Finn, but I think the fans shouldn't even really speculate about who the quarterback could be. There's no telling who Johnson would want. It could be a year or two out also. Salute to my guy, Hafi. Yeah, man. I'm assuming if Ben comes in, he goes to get, a veteran guy in free agency, or we potentially make a trade, which I can see being a very realistic, viable option, as the offseason really, really shows up. I could see us making a trade. Now, that kind of guy that we would go target, I don't know who it is. And you guys do not throw the Dak Prescott hat into the ring, please. We will not trade for him in that contract. I believe he's the highest paid quarterback in the league right now. I know if Deion goes there, they'll probably throw the kitchen sink and try and trade up to go get Shador, because Deion has stated that's the only way that he'll come into the NFL as a head coach, is if he can coach his guy. But let's not talk about Dak Prescott. And I think the reason why Ben Johnson is so enamored, outside of Tom Brady being here and outside of the salary cap, is for him to be able to go get a young quarterback on an inexpensive deal and take his time developing that kid. I do not think that Ben Johnson wants to go into a situation where he has a high-priced quarterback that really doesn't deserve that kind of money. And that's real with Dak Prescott. You know, and that's why I've always thought the Jacksonville situation was funny to me. Trevor Lawrence getting paid all that money. You know, they still got Trent Baalke out there, a terrible general manager, and Khan, a terrible owner. I always thought that Jacksonville pairing would be funny. You know what I mean? So I really do believe, you guys, that it's really Raiders of Chicago. And with Mike McCarthy, with that interview Wednesday with Chicago, I think that they may lean towards experience. You know, Ryan Poles, he's a little, you know, this is probably a make or break year for him as the general manager. And I think that he would probably lean towards a more experienced, more accomplished head coach in Mike McCarthy, because he doesn't have too much time left. Time is no longer in his favor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming they're going to lean toward experience, whether that's Mike McCarthy or a Pete Carroll. Salute to Hafi. Patrick B, my dog. If Ben Johnson becomes a head coach, who would his staff be? What tree does he come from? Well, I mean, look, Ben Johnson, you know, we went over his resume, you guys. You know, he was out there in Miami for many moons, you know, under Joe Philbin, a quality coach, wide receivers coach, quarterback. He's done everything, you know, in terms of coaching on the offensive side of the ball. There was an interesting bit of news that dropped today, you guys, and salute to Patrick B on the $20 special, that the Raiders are bringing in John Spytek. This is a guy that has a ton of experience being around Tom Brady. I mean, the Michigan connection, you know, he was there from 99 to 2002. He was also undrafted, you know, went to the NFL. But as an executive, right, he came in with the Detroit Lions operations as an intern. Then Philadelphia as an intern in 2005. 2006, went up to be a college scouting assistant for the Eagles. 2007 to 2009, college pro scout for the Philadelphia Eagles. Cleveland Browns 2010 to 2012, director of college scouting. This guy has a ton of experience locating future talent. So I'm excited about this. Denver Broncos 2013, Southwest area scout. 2014, 2015 Broncos, a national scout. And then he was a pivotal piece bringing in Tom Brady into Tampa Bay as he went out to Tampa Bay 2016 to 2020 as a director of player personnel. So he was that Michigan connection, definitely helped bring in Tom Brady to Tampa Bay, him and Bruce Arians and company out there. But he was a director of player personnel with the Bucs from 2016 to 2020. And then with the Bucs in 2021 and 2022, vice president of player personnel. And now he's an assistant GM. So he has 2 years now of experience being an assistant general manager, essentially being the new Champ Kelly. So we do have an interview lined up with him. That news broke today as Adam Schefter put it out there. Bucs assistant general manager John Spytek is scheduled to interview this week for the Raiders general manager job per source. So I'm assuming that that's the first piece. I don't know who we would bring in terms of defensive coordinator. We went over a few options a show or two ago with Wasted, and we'll talk about those options a little bit later on. But I'm assuming that this is going to be the first piece that falls. And just speculation here, you guys. But I guarantee you Tom Brady went to Ben Johnson and said, look, Agnew, a guy out there in Detroit that you have a connection with, but also, do you trust me to bring in John Spytek to potentially be the general manager to pair with you as well, that can help locate a ton of talent in the draft, bring in some guys in free agency, and you guys can right this ship, you know, together as a unit. So that is a guy to keep an eye on in terms of general manager outside of Agnew. We talked about Agnew, you know, and what he's done and him being a pivotal piece of that Detroit Lions front office as well. But keep an eye on John Spytek. The connection with Tom Brady is real. Michigan, Tampa Bay. This is a guy that I think that he will end up being the general manager for the Raiders. Salute to Patrick B, my dog. And Raider, I like Luther Burden, Missouri wide receiver. I think he'll be a first-round pick, but I don't want to take a wide receiver in the first round. And I think he'll be there. Now, if he falls to the second, maybe you take a flyer on. Maybe you look at Luther Burden. He had a few big games out there for Missouri. So, but I like the kid. We'll break down a little bit more of what he has done at the collegiate level as we get closer to the draft and the Senior Bowl and all that good stuff. And I will be out there covering the Senior Bowl, you guys, in about a week and a half. I will be driving out to Alabama, and I'll be out there with my Roundtable brothers covering the Senior Bowl all week long. So stay tuned for that. Salute to G-Sus, new to the channel and grateful for what you do for the nation. I'm used to facing these tough seasons alone. I'm so glad to have found a community with such positive vibes and outlook. T-Mac at 6. Salute to my guy, Sus, and welcome to the family, my brother. I appreciate you so much for the kind words. And once again, I like McMillan. out of Arizona. Big body wide receiver, 6'5", damn near 6'6". Love what he could potentially bring to this offense, but I don't know if you want to take a wide receiver that early. But if Ben Johnson's the head coach or whoever it is, Pete Carroll, I don't know where their thought process is, or Spytek and Agnew, whoever it is going to be the general manager, where their thought process is. But me personally, I would rather not take a wide receiver in the first round. But McMillan, if he's there at 6, and let's say Abdul Carter's gone and those quarterbacks are gone, Ward and Shador, it probably would be tough to pass up on T-Mac out of Arizona, man. Salute to my guy, Sus. Salute to my dog, man. Terry, I think Tucker would for sure. For sure. I think he'd be phenomenal in Ben Johnson's system. I couldn't even imagine all the motioning and all the movement and getting hit. Man, that speed that Tuck has. I'm excited to see what he could do moving forward in more of a offensive-minded, system out there in Las Vegas. He's had Antonio Pierce be the guy the last year and a half, and we know what it looked like with Josh McDaniels, right? But I'm excited to see what he would potentially look like in a Ben Johnson system. He would excel, definitely. Roy, man, appreciate you, my brother. So much, man. So much. Thank you. Can we quit calling Ben Johnson BJ? It's not fair to hornify his name and get me all excited for no damn reason. Once again, man, Hug hornifies the chat too early. God damn, Hug. It is 2:36 Central Time right now, brother. Relax. Breathe a little bit, man. Breathe a little bit. Go work out. Get the stress off. My guy's hornifying the chat too early in the day. Salute to Hug. Terry, happy birthday, brother. Hope it's a good one tomorrow, fam. Thank you so much, my brother Terry. Two stocks. Did you hear Josh Jacobs say he was going to try and bring some people to come to Green Bay this offseason? I'm hearing a lot of teams want Max. Who wouldn't want Max Crosby? Two stock. He's one of the greatest defensive ends, in the NFL, in the world, right? And he's a phenomenal teammate, first person in the building, last person out. Who wouldn't want Max Crosby? But who wants him more? We do. He's in the building. He's under contract. And we'll probably this offseason give him an extension and make him even more happier to be a Raider. And I think if we do bring in a Spytek or Agnew and bring in a Ben Johnson or a Pete Carroll, I think that he's going to be sold. He keeps saying he wants to win. Well, this season, Ben Johnson and company, they won. Last season, they won. Pete Carroll has done nothing but win. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers, look what Spytek and those guys did. They won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. They went to the playoffs this year. They lost, yes, but hey, a lot of great guys out there. And another guy that we didn't even talk about yet. We put in a request, you guys, to talk to John Eric Sullivan, another guy, according to Packers.com, promoted to vice president of player personnel July 22nd of 2022 after spending 4 seasons 2018 to 2021 as a co-director of player personnel, spent 2 seasons, 2016 to 2017, as a director of college scouting, first joined the Packers in 2004 as the team's national football scouting representative after interning for the Packers during the 2003 training camp. Also served as a college scout covering the Central Plains 2008 to 11 and Southeast 2012-2015 regions. As a student assistant at Gardner-Webb in 2001, it was the primary position coach for receivers. So another guy that has a ton of experience in the NFL that we are requesting to speak to in terms of trying to fill that vacancy at the general manager position, you guys. John Eric Sullivan, who is, it's funny you brought up Josh Jacobs. He is with the Green Bay Packers right now. So another name to keep an eye on. Some news broke on him as well today. So salute to Two Stock. And Josh should say that, man. He wants to win. Getting to the playoffs isn't enough. And I think most people that watch Green Bay all year long kind of knew they didn't have enough to take it to the next level yet, but they are a upright, a team that's going like this. They need some guys out there. So I wouldn't be shocked if Josh reached out to a few of his former teammates to gauge interest and so on and so forth. I wouldn't be shocked at all. So to Michael, over the moon if we land Ben and Spytek. Draft 6 will be O-line or GT. Whew. Could you imagine GT in the silver and black after what he did at Boise State this year? Man, oh man. But, I would rather go another direction in the first round, and I would get Hampton there in the second round. Even if you decided to move up from the second round back into the first and you gave up one of those thirds to go up and get Hampton out of North Carolina, I think that would be great. But GT it'd be insane. But I think that they would probably value an offensive lineman over GT. The thing is, Mike, right? Detroit has one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and they did it by drafting the right way, building the trenches. And they drafted a lot of those guys out there on that offensive line. So I do believe that if there's not a quarterback there that Ben Johnson and company would be in love with, they probably would lean towards offensive line and get a running back there in the second or mid rounds moving forward. But you never know. You never know. They took Gibbs in the first round out of Alabama, and you see how that's working out for him. Jack Beck, wide receiver from TCU, late, still sleeper, 6'2". 215. We'll talk a little bit more about him too, Jay Raider. We got a few other TCU guys that we're going to talk about. You guys know I'm in Dallas, so I got some inside scoop on some of these guys that are locally out here at some of these Texas schools. We're definitely going to talk about some guys, Jay Raider, but I'm not too familiar with the guy. So, let me see real quick. I want to see who this kid is and see what he did this year. Heard the name, just not really too much familiar about the production that he put up. So let me see. This year, had over 1,000 yards receiving, 62 receptions, 9 touchdowns, average 16.7 a clip. Okay. Senior, 6'2", 215. All right. You just gave me some homework, Jay Raider. Salute to my guy, man. Raider Mo. I think the running back value has gone up after this year. The draft is going to surprise everyone, and running backs are going to fall earlier. We definitely need our duo. Facts, Mo. I mean, you look at some of these teams that made the playoffs this year, and you look at their ground game. Look what Tampa Bay did when they got a young pup out of Oregon, which was one of my favorite running backs out there, and paired him with a nice 1-2 punch out there with Rashad Wright, right? And they were running the football effectively all year long. You look at the Detroit Lions, one of the better ground games with Montgomery and Gibbs. You look at most of these teams, Josh Jacobs with the Green Bay Packers. Minnesota had Aaron Jones. We definitely need to value the running back position this offseason. And I think that we will address that in the draft and potentially bringing a veteran in free agency. But I would run it back also with Sincere McCormick. He's still under contract, and I would love to see if he can build on what he had going on at the end of the season for us. Young, fresh legs. Would love to see what he can do moving forward with potentially Ben Johnson or Pete Carroll at the helm as the head coach. What if the Cowboys wanted to trade up and Sanders is there at 6? They offer Parsons this year's first and second next year's first. Would you accept it if the Cowboys wanted to trade up? Sanders is there at 6. They offer Parsons this year's first. Oh, yeah. Come on, man. Come on. That wouldn't happen, but definitely. They still got to pay Micah too, right? So I would definitely do that. What do you basically go from what? It's about 6 to where are they at, Junior? Are they at like 12, somewhere in that 12 to 15 range? Somewhere like that? Hell yeah, bro. There's still gonna be a ton of talent there. Still would be a ton of talent, but it'd be tough to pass up on Shador, with Tom Brady's connection there and potentially being able to get your quarterback. But you got to think about that. If you can get Micah Parsons, extend him, pair him with Max Crosby, and they're really good friends. I've seen them in action out here in Dallas at youth camps. They're really close. That'd be crazy. And then you get an additional second next year. Oh, man, first, come on, man. Crazy. I don't think the Cowboys do that, though. Unless they can unload that Dak Prescott contract, I don't know how that would work. TN08, thoughts on Jamal Williams, former Detroit guy. He struggled in New Orleans this year, and didn't he deal with some injuries as well, TN08? But he's getting up there in age. What is Jamal? Isn't he like 30? Isn't he like 30 years old? I'm going to say no, though. I'm going to say no. Yeah, he's 29. He'll be 30 years old next year when the season starts. He only had 164 yards rushing this year and a touchdown, average 3.4 clip on 48 carries. So I don't know if they brought, no on Jamal Williams. Salute to TN08. Sacktown, my dog. Hug D's got his bone going. Funny bone, get y'all minds out the gutter. Dum-dum. Salute to my guy, Sacktown. Salute to my hometown also of Sacramento, man. Albert, the connection is there, right? The connection is there. So, I wouldn't be shocked, and Liam is a phenomenal, bright offensive mind. You see what he did in Tampa Bay with that ground game and with Baker Mayfield. So, I think that they're just doing their due diligence here, but I think that Spytek would probably be the guy if it's not Agnew to pair with Ben Johnson. But we haven't even heard anything in terms of Liam Cohen coming in for an interview yet with the Raiders at all. We've heard Robert Salah, Todd Monken. The list goes on. Pete Carroll, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. There's a ton of names that we've seen come in for interviews or potentially coming in. So we haven't heard anything about Liam Cohen yet, which is actually kind of a shocker to me. Bolo says Scott Turner incoming. That will never happen with Tom Brady out there calling the shots. It's not going to happen. Scott Turner will probably end up going to North Carolina with Bill Belichick and helping call that offense out there in North Carolina. Just for fun, the only QB I like that might be possible to trade for is Kyler Murray. And me personally, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like Kyler, where I live out here in Dallas, he's like a local legend, undefeated out here in high school and, all that. Kyler's one of the ones, but, as an A's fan too, I'm just not a big Kyler Murray fan the way he we drafted him and he went to the NFL instead, kind of got a nasty taste in my mouth with that situation. But he's too small too, man. I wouldn't want to go the Kyler Murray route. I wouldn't want to go that route, Hoffy. But if Ben Johnson and company or whoever's there, Pete Carroll, whoever's there, decide on making that move, hey, I'll trust the process. But I wouldn't want to go all in on the Kyler Murray. And I don't think that Arizona is going to be shopping him after having a pretty good season this year. You know what I mean? So I think they'll thug it out with him another year or two and at least just see what they got. Larry, man, appreciate you, brother, on becoming a member. If you guys want to become a member, like my dog, Larry Anderson, hit the link is pinned up top. Welcome to Green Dot Gang, to my dog, Larry Anderson, man. And I see you, Larry. I'll definitely keep that name in mind too, brother. Salute to my guy, Justin Churchill, man. Writer extraordinaire, my dog, over on Twitter. And salute to everybody watching on Twitter as well. If you guys want to get your questions in, put some questions in the comment section. Names to watch: Agnew, we talked about him. Spytek, Boganzi, yes. Kansas City, Terrence Gray, and Alec Haley. Okay. Salute to Churchill, man. There you go. Salute to my dog. Sholo, man, Amarion Hampton is DeMarco Murray / David Johnson, in my opinion. Hey, if we can get anything near that with a first round guy, with the first year guy out of North Carolina, hey, I'm here for it. I love it. DeMarco Murray or David Johnson. Okay. Salute to my dog Hammer in the building, my brother. And salute to everybody that was looking for us yesterday for Monday Night Raw, you guys. We chose to not muddy up our channels with a bunch of different stuff going on. So we did create a new channel called the Baby-Faced Hills Podcast on YouTube. Hammer, if you're still here, put the link in the comment section. We're getting some intros together, some graphics together. So if you guys want to follow some wrestling Mondays and Fridays and pay-per-view events, join Baby-Faced Hills Podcast on YouTube. We created a new channel. We're going to start from scratch over there. I believe we only have like 20 subscribers right now, but that's where our wrestling content will move forward. And we'll be back very, very soon. We want to do this thing the right way. My dog Brandon, man, appreciate you gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother, one of the GOATs over here at OLV. If you guys have not went to his auction yet, Brandon, put the link in the comment section. He sent me something last night with the Tim Brown Notre Dame Irish autographed jersey and a Malik Monk Kings signed jersey. Oh my God, dog. Brandon gets his hands on some of the greatest memorabilia in the world, man. Salute to my guy, Brandon. And salute to all the new Green Dot Gang here in the building as well. Almost caught up on these supers, y'all. Hoping we get Johnson, but elsewhere, it is crazy to me that top coaches do not want to coach Caleb Williams. Hey, man. Larry DM, man, a lot of off-script play, with Caleb Williams. There's a lot of great to his game, but there's also a lot of question marks with this game. So, but once again, Ben Johnson's not out, you guys, yet in Chicago. He could still definitely take that job. You know what I mean? But I think personally, if it's not Mike McCarthy, there is one specific guy that job is tailor-made for, and that's Cliff Kingsbury. The USC connection, Coach Caleb Williams. Keep an eye on him if he potentially, gets an interview with the Chicago Bears here in the near future. They're still in the playoffs. That offense is clicking with Jaden Daniels. Keep an eye on Cliff Kingsbury potentially going out there to Chicago and getting his mans together out there. And people tend to forget, man, that Caleb, you look at the stats, he had an okay year this year, man. Yeah, he was sacked more than any quarterback in the league, I believe. But he had a phenomenal year statistically. He just got, man, that offensive line was bad. It was bad. You know what I mean? And there were times as well where he just didn't get rid of the football. Game management needs to get better with him. But, yeah, man, we'll see who takes that job here. But, I think Mike McCarthy is the man for that job if Cliff Kingsbury doesn't take an interview and ends up taking that job. Sider says Jackson Dart in a second. Okay. I'm not a major Jackson Dart guy, but 6'2", did some things out there in Ole Miss. If he's available there in a second and one of these guys, whoever the head coach is, thinks he's the guy to help turn this thing around, great. I've took him in a few mock drafts, and Jackson Dart has definitely a lot to love about his game, but he also has some things that he needs to work on at the next level. And here goes the channel right here, you guys. If you guys want to join Babyface Till's podcast, once again, we'll be covering everything WWE over there. I'm new here. Hammer stupid. Dan, I agree. If that's the move, I'd take Will Howard over Dart. I like the kid Kyle McCoy too out of Syracuse. I like that kid a lot as well. So that's another name to keep an eye on. But it's going to be interesting, man. We don't know what Ben Johnson, if he is the guy, which we're talking like he's the guy, right? And I don't want to set ourselves up, to be very, very upset if he's not. But it's going to be weird, man, to see, what kind of guy that he wants to bring in to run that O. I know Goff has looked exceptional in that offense, though. Yeah, Rusty, I had to, man. I had to. This is everything Raiders here, man. So we had to do it. We had to, man. I don't want to confuse people and have a million different things going on over here. This is strictly Raider football here, and we'll cover NFL and all the other good stuff as well as a whole. But this is for the Raiders, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to check out BetUS. This live stream is powered by BetUS. Head over there and get 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits using promo code YouTube150. The fastest payouts in the industry, you guys, up to $2,000. You do not want to miss out on this offer. Go over there and tell them that Graphk Raiders sent you. You already know, man. Salute to my bettors out there. Nobody does it better than BetUS. Head over there and get your bet on, man. Get some questions in, you guys. Yeah, had to, man. Had to. What do you guys think about the Deion talk? Do you think this is smoke? It came out yesterday that the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones reached out to Deion Sanders to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, potentially. And there's still other guys. I've heard Jason Witten which would be crazy, but former Cowboy great. He's an option. I still think that Kellen's going to be the guy to be the head coach after if he moves on from the Philadelphia Eagles and calling that offense. But what do you guys think about this after the Raiders come out? And not the Raiders per se, but some beat writers came out and said the Raiders are not interested at all in Deion Sanders. Do you think that this is some smoke here? Or do you think that this can really happen? I thought that if Deion did want to go to the NFL, that this job was specifically tailor-made for him. I don't know if he's ready yet to get it done at the next level. I think that he still has work to be done at the college level, helping develop these kids. He's phenomenal with these young guys that are coming up, to make it to the NFL. I think Deion is tailor-made for that, at least right now. Maybe get a couple more years under his belt and potentially come to the NFL at that point. But I know with Shador and Shiloh entering, the NFL, it's going to be tough for him to not at least kind of play with the thought of going to the NFL. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think? I mean, I think it's clear that the Raiders can't even say moved on from the idea of bringing in Deion because, was it really truly ever an idea? Tom Brady and company, we haven't been tied to him. There's been a lot of talks, because of where we're drafting and Shador's, infatuation with the nation and, Deion, loving the thought of, Shador playing for the Raiders as well. Do you think that this is smoke? Do you think it's a real thing? You can never really put anything past Jerry Jones and him being a general manager. And I've seen a lot of people as well that talked about Ben Johnson potentially taking an interview with Dallas. They missed that threshold, you guys. They moved on from Mike McCarthy way too late. And who the hell, if Ben Johnson wants some type of say in who the general manager is, and it's all speculation if that's true or not, which I believe it is. I think it's true. Why would he want to go to Dallas, where Jerry Jones is essentially the owner and the general manager? It doesn't make any sense. We don't know his thought process and what he thinks about Dak Prescott. We don't know if he wants to come into a situation where they're paying their quarterback a shit ton of money and now his career relies on the success of Dak Prescott. I think that this is bullshit. I don't think that there's really any reason why Ben Johnson would want to go to Dallas. truly, like at all. Terry, I can't wait for the roundtable tonight. Yes, AFC West roundtable, you guys, tonight, YouTube. What time is it? 9:00 p.m. Eastern, 6:00 p.m. Pacific. Join us on the AFC West roundtable. We're going to have some fun tonight, Terry, because two teams went home, and we get to beat up on our brother Ben a little bit, get to beat up on my brother Jake a little bit, get to have some fun, man. It's so good to just not be the only guy on that panel that's sitting around watching my team stink it up week in and week out. It was a rough year for me to cover the AFC West on that roundtable. So we get to talk our shit a little bit with the Chargers in Cancun and the Denver Broncos in Cancun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys pull up. We're definitely going to have some fun today. You guys, make sure join Hammer as well, man. Get him to 10,000 subscribers. We got wasted at 13K the other day. Let's get 4 of them things over at Hammer's channel, man. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers, man. Salute to my big bro, well, my big bro, but Big Mike Raider. You know, I'm older than him, you know what I mean? But salute to my dog, my brother, man, Big Mike in the building as well. I think Deion's just spitballing, Alec, with the idea and not really going to leave Colorado. I don't think he is either. I think he's going to stay there. I think there's still work to be done there at Colorado at the collegiate level, and I don't think that he leaves unless, you know, Jerry makes him an offer that he can't refuse. We're going to throw the kitchen sink and move up to go get Shador. We're going to move on from Dak. You know, there's so many moving parts there, you guys. It'd be difficult to move Dak with that big deal, right? That big contract coming off a subpar year, you know, and then being hurt, you know, and all that. I don't know how that will work out. I don't know how it will work out. I really don't. Let me see. Yeah, Cheese, I got to keep it a buck here. We're going to talk about it tonight. I don't think that the Texans, they played phenomenal football this past weekend and getting the Chargers out of there. I mean, the defense showed up, I believe, 4 picks. The defense was all over the place, right? Will Anderson and company, Danielle Hunter, you know, they look good, but that offense still has a lot of question marks on the offensive line at the receiver position. You know, I don't know if the Texans are going to be the team, to be honestly, to send Kansas City home. I think that Kansas City wins, and then they face the winner of that Buffalo-Baltimore game. And I think that most people in the football atmosphere want to see the Chiefs play the Ravens or play the Bills there. I just think it's the better matchup. It's the better matchup. I think the NFL wants it. I think that, you know, whatever channel was broadcasting it wants it. That is the matchup. I would love to see them go to the AFC West or AFC Championship and get cooked by whether Lamar or Josh Allen, whoever it is. Wartime, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. I don't know. It went twice. I don't know what this means, but thank you, brother. I'm becoming a member as well. That means a lot to me, man. Welcome to Green Dot Gang. Salute to you and salute to 408 Rio as well. If you guys want to become Green Dot like 408 Rio and Wartime, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Definitely helps us keep the lights on over here. Had to let my wife know the boy's about to get off school. She already on it. She already on it. Salute. So we went over the Deion situation. Once again, for those who did not see the Vinny B tweet, and you know, man, the one thing is, you know, I don't talk to Vinny. I've never had a conversation with him. He kind of is kind of like a lone wolf in this space. You know, he kind of does his own thing, which I respect it. I definitely do. I don't really see him throw a ton of shit into the world if he really doesn't truly believe. And I said this at the beginning of the show. He put a tweet out that it says a lot of things are lining up and pointing to Ben Johnson to the Raiders. Nothing surprises me in this league, though. So he kind of, you know, positioned himself there to protect himself from this tweet. But he says some really good coaches have a chance to change things when they interview. And I think he's talking about now, this applies to Mike McCarthy in Chicago and some other situations going on around the NFL, potentially Deion and with the Cowboys and so on and so forth. So interesting tweet from Vinny B. A lot of things lining up and pointing to Ben Johnson to the Raiders. And this is probably his second or third tweet that he's kind of alluded to the fact that the Raiders like Ben Johnson and that Ben Johnson likes the Raiders. There's a lot of smoke here, you guys. There is a lot of smoke with Ben Johnson going to the Raiders. And there's a few things here, right? I know a lot of people I hope the Detroit Lions lose at home against the Commanders. Look, man, that could be a good thing or that can be a bad thing. If they lose to the Commanders at home, maybe Ben Johnson says, pay me a shit ton of money, maybe the highest paid offensive coordinator. I'll stick around in Detroit. We'll run it back because I want to win a championship. Or maybe he says, okay, it's my time to go. It's not working out here. I'll take the show on the road. But I want them to kind of make a run. I do. Get to the NFC Championship. I would like to see him in the Super Bowl. You know, shit, fuck it. Go win the whole thing. Even with all those injuries, 17 players went to the IR this year. Like, this is a guy that I would wait for. But it is kind of nerve-wracking as Raider fans, you know, because we have seen situations like this build a ton of excitement in the nation. And I'm not even going to try and compare. I've seen a lot of people trying to compare the Cliff Kingsbury situation. You guys, that was an offensive coordinator. It was an offensive coordinator. Like, this is not that. And Cliff is a former head coach. This is no knock to him. They went on a great run in Arizona. I believe they won like 10 games in a row, even though their schedule was kind of light. And then they kind of came back down to reality there in Arizona. And eventually they moved on from Cliff Kingsbury. And I think they're still paying Cliff a shit ton of money to leave. So, but I want the Lions to win a few weeks here. You know what I mean? Like, put that offense back out there on full display a few more weeks, you know, and under the big lights on national TV. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see it. I want them to go on a run. I think that, you know, with Tom Brady in the fold, there was a tweet that somebody put out the other day. You know, I'm going to find this real quick, and I retweeted it. I want to read this to you guys because this kind of tells me that Brady doesn't work on hope. Doesn't work on hope. He said this, I believe. Where did he say it at? I'm going to find this, and I think, hold on. Let me find this tweet. I'm going to read this to you guys because this really got me excited about potentially bringing in Ben Johnson. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on, man? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Yes, and I see people talk about my Kings. 7 in a row, baby. We are going for 8 in a row tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks on the road. Let me see. Where is this tweet? Gotta find it. I gotta read this. I wanted to read it the other day, and I forgot to. And I think the Al Davis account dropped it, put it on here as well. Damn, where the fuck is it? Hold on. Give me a few seconds, y'all. Right here. Boom. Oh, nope, that ain't it. Let me see. While we're at it, if you guys can, man, 4 people, man, subscribe to Hammer's House on YouTube as well to get him up to 10K. Damn, I can't find it. I cannot find it at all. But you know what? Hold on. This is where it is. Hold on. Basically says you can't deal with hope. In a nutshell, you can't deal with hope. Let me find this tweet. I got to go all the way down my timeline. This shit sucks. Bear with me, you guys. Bear with me. But this little soundbite really, truly got me hyped up. Let's see. Almost to it. Unless he deleted the damn tweet. Boom, boom. Once again, you guys, AFC West Roundtable tonight. AFC West Roundtable on YouTube. Pull up. Let's have some fun, and let's destroy the Chargers and the Denver Broncos on the live stream. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We will be live tonight covering the AFC West teams who just lost in the playoffs. Here you go. This is where it was right here. Just minutes ago, I love that Brady told his colleague that hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. That doesn't sound like a guy right now that is operating in a situation where he doesn't know what's going on. That doesn't sound like a guy that doesn't have this situation locked up and locked down. Brady says hope is not a strategy. That is a bar. That is a bar, y'all. Hope is not a strategy. So for us to be looking for a head coach, having all these candidates come in, looking for a general manager, having all these guys, well, now we're going to start our general manager search. And once again, we talked about Spytek coming in from Tampa Bay for an interview. And we also requested, for John Eric Sullivan to come in as well for the general manager spot from Green Bay. But hope is not a strategy. Man, that is a bar. And that reminds me that we're not dealing with a guy that's in the building that doesn't have high expectations, doesn't operate with hope, doesn't operate under hope. This is a guy that says, we're going to get the job done. To me, this is why I'm so excited, because I feel like there's already a plan in motion, and there's something. I'm not going to say sign, seal, deliver, because I'm not going to sell myself and get too excited, and you guys get too excited, but it just sounds like there's a very, very good plan in motion right now. And with all the Ben Johnson hype being directed to Raider Nation right now, there's not a lot of, I'm starting to see Chicago Bears fans on Twitter starting to kind of lose their mind a little bit about, oh, we're going to lose Ben Johnson. No. It sounds like everything is starting to shift towards the Raiders in terms of Ben Johnson. Salute the room. Trey Smith is a must get for us. I like Isaiah Bond, the speedster out of Texas, you guys, and he just declared today for the NFL draft as a JMO-like deep threat for Ben Johnson. Hopefully Sincere can be a part of the duo of running backs. Ben always gets production from two backs. I agree, bro. I agree. I would love to see a Marion Hampton is like that David Montgomery type guy, and then bring in, have Sincere potentially be, I can't sell him as that Jahmyr Gibbs, because Gibbs is special. But just Thunder and Lightning, our version of David Montgomery and Gibbs. But Isaiah Bond is definitely a name to keep an eye on as well. Speedster out of Texas. Dude can take the top off of a defense for sure. I would love to watch him and Trey Tucker, both two speedsters out there, that 1-2 punch with Jacoby and whoever it is the X receiver on the outside, with that pairing of Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. It'd be nasty. And Trey Smith is a guy I think that we need to go all in for in free agency. The Pro Bowl guard from the Kansas City Chiefs, you guys. He's gonna demand or command a lot of money, but I would pay him. It makes your divisional rival weaker, and it makes your offensive line that much more stout. I'm definitely going all in for Trey in free agency. Facts. Hug. There you go, bro. Promote that. Cheese. We were smart talking to Johnson when we did. Jerry is grabbing with both hands. The best candidates are going to be busy until February. Just win. Cheese. There you go, my brother. There you go. Salute to my guy, Cheese. Salute to the almost 2,000 people rocking with me in the building, man, whether on Twitter or YouTube. As always, appreciate you guys. Just get those likes up, man. Keep us in the algorithm, and also hit the subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. We went over the Adam Schefter tweet this morning, you guys. The Raiders are bringing in Bucs assistant GM John Spytek once again for an interview this week. Per source, this is coming from Schefter. Also, he has a connection with Tom Brady from their time in Michigan and their time in Tampa Bay. He was a critical piece to bring in Tom Brady to that Super Bowl winning team down there in Tampa Bay where Tom won his last ring. So keep an eye on John Spytek potentially taking his GM spot. Once again, y'all, we are bringing John Eric Sullivan. Let me say this. We requested an interview from him, Vice President of Player Personnel for the Green Bay Packers. Keep an eye on if he accepts. And if he doesn't, maybe, he has another job in mind, or maybe he already has kind of seen the writing on the wall with John Spytek, or potentially we bring in Agnew at some point here in the near future as well. Talked about that. I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat writers and fans also kind of upset about John Spytek coming in for the interview for our general manager position. They like him a lot. They value him a lot. They think that he's a guy that can locate a ton of talent for their team moving forward. So if you guys have not gotten an opportunity to check out like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan boards and the Bucks on Twitter, their fan base is low-key in shambles right now with them potentially moving on from John Spytek and that pairing there with Tom Brady. We talked about that. Other than that, y'all, get a few questions in before we get out of here. This y'all show. I'm just here so I won't get fined. And Zahn just went absolute bonkers, absolute ape shit. 50 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Holy shit. Wowzers. My dog Zahn, brother, I appreciate you, man. That's a bang if you've never seen one before, man. Salute to the new 50 Green Dot Gang in the building because of David Zahn, my brother. You are definitely appreciated over here at OLV Raiders Network. Man, bombs over Baghdad in the words of the great Outcast. Holy shit. Tyler, there's been nothing yet. If you guys want to become a member as well, hit the link. It's pinned up top. But Zahn is my dog. What about Agnew from the Lions? We talked about him, Tyler. We're kind of waiting to see if at some point we bring him in. There's been no news of us requesting an interview with him. Maybe he sticks around out there in Detroit. We don't know yet. But there's nothing else in terms of Agnew coming in for an interview, requesting for an interview, or nothing. That's a name to keep an eye on moving forward. But I do believe with Tom in the fold, he wants Spytek. That is his guy. I think if Tom has full reins to do what he wants to have his guys in the building. And Spytek, once again, we talked about the Michigan connection, the Tampa Bay connection. Tom wants his guys. Spytek is number one, I think, right now in terms of coming in for the general manager. And I think that he's going to take the job. I do. I think he's going to be our general manager moving forward. And, I think Ben Johnson is his guy. Even though there's no connection there, I think that Ben Johnson is the guy. What Tom Brady wants, Tom Brady gets, you guys. You want 7 championships? Go get 7 championships. You want to be drafted in the 6th round and sit behind Drew Bledsoe and take over the NFL and become one of the greatest athletes of all time? Tom Brady wants what Tom Brady gets. You want a model as your wife? What Tom Brady wants, Tom Brady gets. Tom Brady wants Antonio Brown? Tom Brady gets him. Tom Brady wants Richard Seymour to be in the building and be another minority stake owner in this Raiders team. Guess what? What Tom Brady wants, Tom Brady gets. So Spytek to me is numero uno for him at the general manager position. I do believe that. And hopefully, just hopefully, Ben Johnson is the guy. Yeah, Ross, facts. This is a true house cleaning. Sheesh. We pray for this, pray for days like this. And you know what? I haven't talked about this. And I've talked to a few people behind the scenes as well, y'all, that outside of Champ Kelly, because he's the operating GM right now. I don't know if you guys seen this yesterday, which is absolutely hilarious. But he is the acting GM right now. He is the acting GM. So we technically have our assistant GM, Champ Kelly, in the building right now. But we went out yesterday and we signed a player. We actually went out and signed a player. Let me go over this real quick. We went out and signed a linebacker, Jackson Mitchell, to a reserve/future contract. So operations are still running right now, you guys. Just because it's the off season, we have no general manager with Champ Kelly in the building. We have no head coach. Things are still rolling. We went out and signed a linebacker, Jackson Mitchell. So Champ is still making some moves here. But from what I'm hearing, and I've talked to some people behind the scenes, and some of these guys are getting ready to move on to, I don't know, greener pastures, but they're getting ready to move on. They're getting ready to move on. I spoke to a few people, and I'm gonna reach out to Stu as well, because I know Stu has super connections to a lot of those guys in the building. Some of them he even played for in Oakland. We're gonna have a Graphk and Stu show here this week as well. But I'm hearing that some of those guys are preparing to move on from the Raiders. So I think Graham is already out, you guys. He's no longer under contract. He took a head coaching interview for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that Graham ends up in Cincinnati as the defensive coordinator. He took a job. Well, he took an interview with them. I think he'll end up over there. You know what I'm saying? But Some of these other guys, I don't know if Joe Philbin sticks around. The connection there with Ben Johnson. If Ben Johnson is here, I think Joe Philbin is safe. I do. I think that he'll be the offensive line coach moving forward. And the O-line did look better with Joe Philbin in the fold. A big part of that is, though, Jackson Powers Johnson going to center, right? But some of these other guys and veterans, I think that they're going to be slowly moving on. The Marvin Lewis's of the world. I love Rob Ryan. I love him so much. Once a Raider, always a Raider. He's a Raider at heart. I don't know if they keep him around as a senior advisor, which I would love, just as a senior advisor. But I think there's some of these names you're going to hear soon. But two guys I said in shows lately that I would like to see stick around would be Edgar Bennett. It's going to be interesting to see if Ben or whoever takes over keeps him there at the wide receivers as a wide receivers coach. And Rob Leonard, our defensive line coach, which all those guys love to death. So, and I think eventually he will be a defensive coordinator at the NFL level because he's that bright. And he was a former linebackers coach, I believe, for the Baltimore Ravens as well. So he doesn't only know defensive line, he knows defense. But those are two names that maybe potentially keep an eye on as time goes by. But I think some of these guys will probably be out of here very, very soon as we potentially locate our head coach and our GM here. Brock Bowers, Tom saw that free agent pickup and immediately called Mark the fire champ. This is my house now. Salute to Brock. Salute to M. Raider. Yeah, man, keep Bennett, keep Leonard, and the rest can go. Not even mad at that, M. Raider. Salute to my guy, Marcos over there, my dog. Always covering Instagram, man. Salute to my guy. If you guys are on Instagram, man, go support our guy, Marcos, and give him a follow, man. He's always live and talking Raider football and covering it, man. I love what my guy Marcos does over there on Instagram. Salute to 10 Commandments. A team is not just the 53-man roster, practice squad, and coaches. It's all those things in a bomb front office and scout staff. What Tom is doing is legendary. Believe that. Dynasty restored. Talk that shit, 10 Commandments. My dog. Appreciate you on a $10 special, man. Salute to my brother Top Beast with that content. Real ones know. Salute to CGR as well. Appreciate that fire content. Raider Nation for life. Salute to my guy. Other than that, y'all, if anything else happens, we will be covering it. I'd hate to leave with like 2,000 people in the building, but we are almost about an hour and a half in. I covered what I needed to cover. Tomorrow we will be live for my birthday, you guys. Birthday live stream. We're going to be doing mock draft central tomorrow. Waste is going to pull up. Hammer's going to pull up. Hopefully Big Mike can pull up. I'm going to send the invite over to Andy as well. We're going to do some mock drafts. Each of us do an individual one. We'll do one as a whole, but mock draft central tomorrow. And if any other news breaks, you guys know what it is. We'll be here to cover every single bit of it. As always, salute to you guys. Love every single one of you guys. Also on the way out, salute to our proud sponsors over at BetUS. This live stream was powered by BetUS. Head over there and get 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits using promo code YouTube150. Fastest payouts in the industry, up to $2,000. If you are better, nobody does it better than BetUS. Salute to our proud sponsors. This live stream was powered by BetUS. And on the way out, Kenny Mack, Deuce Gruden can now join his father. Salute to Kenny Mack. It's crazy to see that Deuce is still in the building. It's funny. It's funny, man. Like it really is. That dude looks like a buff. He's just built like a nutsack. Just like a veiny nut, like just a veiny, like, all right, y'all, we out of here. One.